Hi there. I wanted to show you a video about some of the hotspots that I am seeing on these spreadsheets that I just made and sent out to my email list. If you haven't gotten a chance to grab these spreadsheets, make sure you are signed up for my email list. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video, so be sure to check that out. And these are just some spreadsheets that I made. I like color coding everything to make it simpler. What I did as far as the colors real quick is I put red on the question number if they got 55% or less of Texas students got this question correct. And then if you're wondering what the orange is, I did orange for all of the new question types. So you're going to notice short constructed response is in orange. And I put orange if it's a 2-point question. I put 1 if it is a 1-point, yellow and a 1 if it is a 1-point question. So that way you can your eyes can go to the new question types and see how students are doing on those. Now, I will tell you one thing I'm noticing, and I kind of want to share some takeaways across all the grades I have pulled up 3rd grade all the way to English 2. And you will notice the short constructed response from 3rd grade all the way to English 2 is a hot spot. So if you look, 4th grade, it was number 2. This was from 2025, plot elements. 3rd grade, it was on identifying the claim, number 14. 5th grade was plot elements. Now notice the multi-select questions are also hotspots. These are really tricky for kids, which is why the more we can practice SCRs and multi-select questions, the better. I do have resources on these if you're interested. I will link those in the description. From 3rd grade to English 2, I have task cards that you can print or assign digitally that have lots of multi-select and SCRs and all the new question types. I also have workbooks from 3rd to 5th grade that have all of these, and I will link those in the description. So look at this. 6th grade, short constructed response is a hotspot, not multi-select. Good job. But all the other grades have short constructed response and multi-select as hotspots. So this one is 7th grade, has both of those, multi-select and short constructed response. 8th grade, short constructed response is a hotspot, also on plot, and multi-select was a hotspot. Going into high school, we have number 13 was the SCR on author's purpose, and it was a hotspot, as well as the multi-select was a hotspot. More than 55% did not get the full 2 points for both of these questions. Now, I will say that for 8th grade and 7th grade, the multi-select was on paired passages. That is always, if you look here and you're wondering, why is there all this red on 4H? That is the paired passage TEKS. So you're always going to see that across all the grades. Paired passages are pretty much a hot spot no matter what grade they're in. Okay, so if you go, I'm sure 3rd grade as well is going to have it as a hot spot. So 3rd grade, yep. So that is the deal. So going back to high school, English 1, the SCR and the multi-select, both hot spots. In English 2, what a surprise, the short constructed response was also a hot spot. And match table grid. Match table grid, I've noticed, has only been really tested in English 1 and 2, but it can be on the 8th grade test. 8th grade and up can get match table grid, and those are definitely tricky. I have those all in my resources as well. They also struggled with text entry, context clues in high school, so that is worth noting. To make this video not too long, I'm going to go into the SCR specifically. I want to show you some things that you might not know that can hopefully help you and your students. So we're going to get into SCRs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 2 examples. One is from 4th grade. So if you look at 4th grade, they had plot elements was the TEAC for SCRs. Less than 55% got the full 2 points on this question. So I want to pull up the scoring guide. And how you can find this is you can just do a Google search. You can just type in fourth grade scoring guide 2025 STAAR or whatever grade you're looking for, and it will come up. And if you scroll all the way to page 27 past the ECRs, you will see the SCRs for reading. Okay, so here is the prompt. It says, what is the main problem in the story? Support your answer with evidence. The only thing they need to do to get the 2 points is answer this question, what is the problem? And give evidence of the problem that is relevant. That's all they need to do for the 2 points. Let's look at some examples. If you scroll down, this is called an item-specific rubric. And this is going to show you exactly what they would need to have in their answer. It has to either have that Robin is struggling because she does not like hibernating, or it has to have she's struggling because she doesn't like winter. Either way, Robin doesn't want to come out, right? But they have to either use the word, they have to either talk about hibernating or if she doesn't like winter, something about that. Now, for the evidence, there are 3 possible pieces of evidence. One is in paragraph 3. Robin, on the other hand, could not stand the idea of hibernating. That backs up that first bullet point. The second one they could possibly have, they don't have to have all of these, they just need one. The other piece of evidence is they could put, I wish summer would last all year. That shows they don't like winter. The third one, I dread winter. It is freezing and all the animals are asleep. The fact that they're saying they dread it goes with doesn't like winter. Okay, so the way it's scored, a 1, they got the answer right, or they got the evidence wrong, or they got the evidence right and the answer wrong. So we are trying to go for 2 points on these. They don't need to explain. They don't need to do anything else. They just need to give the answer and the evidence. 2 sentences, 2 points, 2 things, 2 points. Okay, these all got a 0. The fact that they're great friends, that doesn't answer the question. I think the story is about the summer can last long. Doesn't tell you the problem. So here's one that tries. The main problem of the story is it is almost winter and Robin does not want to leave her friend. It doesn't really say that she doesn't want to leave her friend. It's more about she doesn't like winter. So they did not include the part about winter or hibernation. So that is why that answer is wrong. This one's trying. They said the main problem was it's starting to get hot out. They didn't know what to do, so they started to get a lot of food so they won't get hungry, and they sleep for the summer, and that is how they solve the problem. Again, does not say anything about winter and not liking winter. Okay, now keep in mind, the SCR is not scored on this giant long run-on sentence. It's not scored on conventions. We're never going to tell the kids that. They don't need to know that, but just for you to know, they would still get the points if they just got the answer right. But these did not. So let's look at the ones. The problem is the robin does not sleep through the winter. Okay, so see how this one has that keyword winter, and it got 1 point because it got the answer right, but the text evidence, I can't stay, that's not good enough. That doesn't really show that she doesn't like winter. Okay, in paragraph 4, the author says the robin wishes summer would last all year. Okay, that's the right answer, but where's the evidence? So that would be a 1. I hope this is helping you to see what they need to do to get a 2. Okay, so all of these got a 1. The main problem in the story is Robin cannot fall asleep. Wrong. That's not the problem. They didn't mention winter. They didn't mention hibernate. I know this because the story says blah, blah, blah. So they actually got the point for the text evidence, which is amazing. But it did not get the 2 points because the answer was wrong and the evidence was supposedly right. Okay, number 4. The main problem is a robin can't sleep during the winter. That is correct. But let's look at the evidence. It says in paragraph 8. Oh man, they didn't even quote the evidence. So they have to either paraphrase or quote the evidence. They can't just refer to a paragraph. So that is why that one got 1 point. Now let's look at the ones that got 2 points. This is what we're trying to go for in 3rd grade to English 2. More than half the state of Texas is not getting these 2 points. So let's look at the kids who did get 2 points. The main problem in the story is that all the animals hibernate during the winter, but the bird does not. In the text, it states, I can't stay asleep, blah, blah, wake up. Okay, that got 2 points because it has the answer and the evidence. Even though it has mistakes as far as grammar and punctuation and spelling, it still got the 2 points because this is coded as a reading teak, not revising and editing. Okay, let's look at the next one. The main problem is the robin hates winter. And in the story, it says, I dread winter. Boom. Short and sweet. They got the 2 points. That is all they need. This is proof they do not need to explain. This is not an ECR. And you can tell your kids the SCR comes first. It comes in the first half of the test, way before the ECR. If you look, on some of these, it was number 14 for 3rd grade. 4th grade, it was number 2. 5th grade, it was number 2. 6th grade, it was number 6. 7th grade, number 5. Number 5 for 8th grade. High school, it was number 13 for English 1. And for English 2, it was number 13. So it's always going to come, the first half of the test that I coded green here is reading. The second half of the test is yellow, is writing. I coded it yellow, it's writing. So the test is designed where the reading questions are all going to come first. That's where you're going to see the SCR. The last question in the reading section is going to be the ECR. Okay, it's on the last reading passage, but I put it yellow because it is writing, and the points are going to be part of the writing part of the test, half and half reading, half writing. 10 points for the ECR, then you get into revising, and then you get into editing. That is the order of the test. So telling kids the SCR is going to come first, you just need to answer the question and give evidence. That is all they need to do to get the 2 points. When they get to the ECR, halfway, that's when they need to put their essay with multiple pieces of evidence and explain in their own words. Okay, back to the SCR. Look at this one. I believe the problem is robin can't hibernate. For instance, it says, I can't stay asleep during the winter. Now, even though they have all this extra stuff, it is not necessary for the points. All they are getting credit for is robin can't hibernate and I can't stay asleep during the winter. Anything else is just extra time wasted, okay, in my opinion. So just get them to answer the question and put the quote. Okay, here's another one. If you look at what TA wrote here, they are telling you the problem was stated and the relevant evidence, the rest of it, this part, they're not even looking at. Okay, that was 4th grade. I just want to really quickly show you 8th grade just to jump it up a notch. This one, if you look at the TEAC for 8th grade, it is analyze nonlinear plot development, flashbacks, foreshadowing, all that stuff. But it is basically having to do with plot. So let's look at the scoring guide. It says, how does the playwright's use of flashback in scene 1 contribute to the development of the plot? Support your answer with evidence from the play. So if you scroll down, the reason they're having a conflict. Okay, so the answer is the flashback in scene 1 explains the reason Belinda and Robert are having a conflict. These are the possible answers for the text evidence. Okay, so for this one, these all got zeros. And if you scroll down, let's look at what got a 1. Okay, so this one, it does answer the question. It says it shows how Belinda and Robert were angry at each other in the first place. Okay, where's your text evidence? So it just got 1 point because they didn't put the text evidence. Let's look at this one. They wrote a lot, but they only got 1 point. The playwright's use of flashback contributes to the development of the plot by giving the reader background of what happened before Robert and Belinda got into another conflict. Okay, that part about the conflict answers the question. If the flashback never happened, the reader wouldn't understand the story because they wouldn't know why they were already mad at each other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they did a really long answer to answer that one question, but they didn't put any text evidence. So it only got 1 point. Okay, let's look at this one. The playwright, the flashback helps show what happened recently before Robert and Belinda mad at each other. So they got the answer right. Now let's look at the evidence. Eagerly picking up trash and placing it. This shows neither of them will apologize. They're still mad at each other. Although the writer provides text evidence, it does not support. So look at the sentence. Eagerly picking up trash, apologize already. Sorry, I don't know what I just clicked on. Okay. So let's go up and look at what the evidence could have been. Scroll past all this. Okay. So here they are talking about why they're mad. So picking up the trash does not have anything to do with that. This is already after the conflict happened. So basically they picked the wrong text evidence. Okay, let's look at a few twos. This one copied the question again, which they're just going to ignore that. It shows why Robert and Belinda might have beef in the past and why they are fighting now in the future. This got a 2, you guys. So as you can see, it is not scored on slang or conventions. It still got the 2 points. Beef is a synonym for fighting, okay? And so it got the answer right. For the evidence, it says, I can't believe you wrote about the importance of resting. Coach benched me. That shows he's angry. So that got the 2 points. Okay, here's another one. They're fighting. I can't believe you wrote same evidence. Correct. So that's what they were looking for. So if they get the correct evidence and they have the right answer, even if they do it in a different way, they get the 2 points. This one also has about fighting and the same quote. All right. So what you can do to help with SCRs, like I said, is just practicing these as much as possible. It's basically just giving the students a question, a comprehension question, having them write it out, the answer to the question in a complete sentence, and then having them choose the correct text evidence. I would start by having them highlight it and then say to groups, what did you highlight? Share out what you put. I would have them do SCRs in groups. You can partner them up and have them do them together. That requires them to talk it out, and that will help strengthen their writing. So if you're looking for extra practice with SCRs, the way that they're going to be worded on STAAR, check out my reading task cards. I'm going to link them below. And also check out my workbooks for grades 3 through 5. I also have revising and editing workbooks for grades 2 through 7. Those are out right now. So check those out if you're looking for also revising and editing practice. All right. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this video helped. Thanks. Bye.